So moving on to the demo part of this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Moving on to the demo part of this. This is the code that I used for this particular program that I ran. So what I basically did is I inputted this the season, plate appearance number, strikeout number, walk number, and home run number of the whole league. So these are just the raw datas for the whole league. And then what I did is just convert it into Python code. Really, it was just pretty simple program, nothing too crazy. Just putting out, you know, different menus and different ways of calculating. Pretty elementary stuff. I just had the rates right here for the calculations, and I loaded in the hitting data from the CSV file there. So running this program now, we see we have a menu. Just kind of, if you want to print the data, search by season, sort, add new row, remove, modify, and then exit and show the graphs. So we can go through here and print the data. Start. You can see what we had in the CSV file we have here, and we have the rates along with it. I can expand this to make it easier. There we go. And then we can search by season. So if we type in 2, we can search by the season. Let's just go with 2020, the outlier year. If not, make it interesting. And yeah, let's go with 2021. 2021. You can see I'll put it right here. 2020 I don't think was included actually because it was an outlier, so we'll make it into 2021 there. And you can see, plate appearances, strikeouts, strikeout rate, pretty simple stuff. And if we want to go with 3 and sort by the TTO rate, obviously I think 2020 would be the number one, but 2021 and 2019, big years for 3 true outcomes. And as we look down towards the bottom of the list, we have 2001, we have 04, 02. We have all the earlier years pretty much. I guess with the exception of 2000 right here, which would be kind of an outcast from that, which is towards the end of the steroid era. And then if we want to add a new row, we can do so. Type in 4, add a new season row. If we want to do something, if we want to do like 2027, let's just say, we can just put in, I don't know, make it an easy number, 100, go 50, go 20, go 10, something like that. It'll add a new row, and then if I want to remove that, I can do so like that. Do 2027, remove it. So then, see, we don't have 2027 there. Going forward, we can modify home runs by season. So if I want to do, if we had an error or something, do 2023, modify the home run total. It was 58.68. Can do 58.69. Then I can go ahead and print that again. Let me see, 58.69 there. So I think if we were doing something along the lines of we had a current season running and we wanted to update that to make sure that it was the correct number, we could do it there. And then I'm gonna hit 7 here, and then we can show the graphs that were created. Obviously this is the graphs you already saw, but we have our strikeout rate, we have walk rate, we have home run rate, outcome rate, and then we have all 3 of them together, or all 4 of them together in one. So yeah, that's pretty much all the program does, and yeah, that's the end of the demo part of this program. Hello there. Today I'll be discussing my project about the three true outcomes of MLB baseball, which is a growing trend that has been introduced into baseball over the past couple years, especially. It's gotten much more popular as time has gone on, but there have been a few players that adopted the strategy beforehand, and this will be kind of like an interactive visualization of the trends that have gone on in Major League Baseball. So to begin, we kind of have the kind of roadmap, if you will, a little menu of what this project will entail. We will go through what the project is. We will go through why the three true outcomes matter, the data, tools, and formulas that we used, or that I used, the implementation and the graphs, and then at the end we'll go through the live demo and the checklist. So our goal is kind of just to show how we loaded the data into our code, processed it correctly, cleaned it up, and then made visualizations that almost anyone can understand. So to begin with, we have the description. Basically, just kind of what I said earlier, making a interactive visualization of the data that we had collected, which was all data since 2000 in Major League Baseball. To explain the three true outcomes, they are walks, which are when a pitcher throws 4 balls to a hitter in an at bat or a plate appearance. Strikeouts, which is when there's 3 strikes on the batter before 4 balls are achieved, and home runs, which are balls that go over the fence when hit in play. So basically, these plate appearances, which is every time a batter steps up to bat, which is a plate appearance, is where the defense is not involved. And we're going to calculate the yearly trends and turn the raw stats into graphs so people don't have to go through each stat to find their own opinion on what the stat means. It'll just show you. And the goal is just to make baseball analytics easier to understand. I mean, this is something that a casual fan would not even know about probably if they were just watching the game. You know, they just watch the hits and the runs and they get excited when that happens. But this is kind of more going into a level of the experienced watcher kind of understanding why there's not as many balls put into the play of field, why there's more strikeouts, why there's more walks, and why there's more home runs that are attempted to be a hit, and it's on purpose. It has been something that is discussed by MLB front offices, and it's a strategy that people have used as analytics has become more into the game. So our objective here is just to see how modern baseball strategy has changed. We'll show you how strikeouts, walks, and home runs have changed over time, so how their graphs have either fallen or risen. It'll help the casual fan, like I said, just anyone that's getting into baseball, students and analysts, honestly, because some of them don't know how the trends have gone. They've all pretty much increased as time has gone on, which I'll show you later. The scope, we'll just be looking at MLB offensive stats, nothing defensive, nothing pitching wise. We'll be using hitting data by season since 2000. This really isn't going to predict future MLB trends, and we're not really going to focus on one team or player. I will break down a couple players that have benefited from this and that have used this to their advantage, just to show you how those 2 players can be successful in Major League Baseball. So the things that we used, or that I used in this, is Python, which is what I used to program. Pandas, which is just cleaning up the data set, which is honestly one of the most important parts, just to have clean and organized data. It makes it way more efficient. Plotly, to make the graphs from the code. Visual Studio, which is what my MacBook uses to code, and then GitHub, which is where the files are stored. And yeah, as you can see down here, the data set included season, plate appearances, strikeout, walks, and home runs, which is all you need to calculate three true outcome percentage. Methods. So first, I collected the data from I used Baseball Reference as the data set. They have all the data on there, whatever you need. They have way more advanced stats that we used here, but that was the first part. Then we cleaned the data. Only needed what we have down here: strikeouts, walks, home runs, plate appearances, because that's all we need for this project. and then calculated the rates, made sure that we used some technology to do that, so there's no human error. I did triple check though, make sure that the rates are correct just by my own eye, and then visualize building the graphs by the season. So here's the implementation. Just loaded stuff into Visual Studio. We had Python code to load the data, calculate the rates, create visualizations. As you can see here, we have the different percentages calculated. We had a new rate column for strikeouts, walks, and home runs, just to make sure that they are all in their own area instead of being all together. And then we generated graphs up here, as you can see. So this is the output that we got. This is the raw data. Obviously, this isn't very helpful if you're just looking at it. It's kind of confusing, all clustered up. So we put that into the graphs to make sure that people know. But it is good just to see that you can kind of see some trends as you're looking here. I mean, you can see that it dips down, comes up. This one kind of stays a little more steady. This one is obviously on the rise, and then this one is even more so on the rise. So here are the graphs. We have our 3 true outcomes by season, which is starts up because this is the steroid era of baseball. It's kind of where it's kind of skewed because people were hitting a lot more home runs and striking out more. But as we get into the later 2000s, where this starts down here, you can kind of see the trend rise. And there is an outlier here in 2020 just because it was the COVID season, so it's a shorter sample size. But you can see it rise completely, and then obviously it comes back down after it peaks in 2020. But the same thing with the strikeout rate. I mean, completely down. Because what people were being taught in the early 2000s was to put the ball in play and make the defense work. But now, strikeouts have become a lot more normalized, and as you see again, we have the outlier in 2020, the peaks. But as you can see, I mean, the rate of strikeouts has just completely risen as you progress to the modern game. This is all 4 rates together, and down here we have the walk rate, which is the lowest, has stayed the steadiest. Or sorry, this is the home run rate. These two have stayed the steadiest as we've gone on. Still some changes, but definitely the strikeout rate and the total 3 true outcome rate has been the most improved, or I guess the most increased as we move through the modern era. These are the 2 players that I really can speak to using this kind of style of hitting, and that they were very successful. I brought in Adam Dunn because he was before his time. He retired, I think, in 2015 or 2014. And he was before his time. He was doing this before anyone else really was doing it. He hit for a ton of power, as you can see here, 462 home runs. And look at his 3 true outcome percentage, 49.9%. So about 50% of his at-bats were ended in either a home run, walk, or strikeout. So about half the time, he wouldn't even have to run the bases. He wouldn't even have to make a decision whether he wanted to hit a double or a single. He would either walk, strike out, or hit a home run. So 2 out of the 3 times of those, he'd be back in the dugout immediately after hitting, which is insane. Absolutely insane. And as you can see here, the league average 3 true outcome for last season, 2025, was 33.7%. So about a third of the time people were doing that, they were doing it about half the time. So a modern example, this is almost the guy that you want to look at for a modern example, is Kyle Schwarber. His percentage is 49.2%. So again, about half of his at-bats end in him either hitting a home run, walking, or striking out, which is mind-boggling. Okay, so there's 2 players, and that'll be it for this section, and then we'll go to the live demo now.